And we are back. So, we talked about the San Francisco 49ers continuing to be the worst organization of accountability in the face of football history. We also talked about T. Higgins getting his money, playing on a franchise tag with 21 million guaranteed in his pocket. Also, we talked about Steve Kerr, him being the highest paid coach in NBA history, 2 years, 35 million. We also talked about Eric Eric B, headed to UCLA with Deshaun Foster. Should make for some exciting and innovative football in the Big Ten next year. Can't wait to see it. Also, talked about Richard Sherman making a bonehead move, driving under the influence and suspicion under the influence. It's his second time doing that in the last 4 years. Just hope he gets prayer and hope he gets the attention and talks to the professionals. He needs to turn that situation around. And we're going to close today talking about Draymond Green. And Draymond Green, I love Draymond Green's trash talk. It's refreshing. This one comes out of Yahoo Sports from Callie Lawson Freeman. We've covered a bunch of her stories before, but Draymond Green rips Grant Williams and Miles Bridges after a late scuffle was sparked out, leading to Green telling him in a post comment, "Stop the tough guy stuff." That's almost up there with me when I say, knock it off. Knock it off. The Golden State Warriors' 97-84 win over the Charlotte Hornets on Friday ended in a late game scuffle sparked by Miles Bridges. But after listening to Draymond Green's post-game comments, you would think Grant Williams started the fight. We had a lot of fights jump off in the NBA here lately. Jimmy Butler, he got choked up in New Orleans. And then Eubanks, he gets punched in a pregame. It's refreshing to see this much hate still around the league. It's 1989 all over again. For a lot of us from that era, the Detroit bad boy Pistons, hand checking, people chucking elbows and splitting people's eyes up. I mean, that is refreshing to see. People want it that much. However, the Warriors guard Lester Quinons, I hope I'm gonna butcher that one. Don't kill me for that. Went for a layup. Just over 12 seconds left in regulation. The attempt to score wasn't received well by Bridges, so he tried to block the shot and was called for goaltending. Wait, what? This was all over big leaguing. Not a hard foul, not trash talk, or a cheap shot. This was some old mean girl stuff. Ringer. You mad over big leaguing? Draymond shot on Bridges at the press conference. He says he's getting into it with everybody this year, and then he came over to our bench and thought he was about to have a friend. What? How weird is that? You start a fight or start some sort of melee with one of their guys, one of their brothers who he's practicing with the team and they love him and they cover his back. And then you walk over to the bench. Look here, man. See what happened? What had happened was he was going for a layup, right? And then I was like, no, man, but you know how it is, man. What? He is a certified joke at that point. Green said, ain't no friends for you over here, my man. Like, you go down there and talk to your guys. You can't come over here and talk to us about what just happened with our players. Like, no. We support our man. And I'm with that because they had Lester's back all the way. As you're supposed to. As any teammate is supposed to. And at one point, I'm sitting here saying to myself, this is about big leaguing. Here's one way you stop big leaguing. Win the game. Here's one way you stop big leaguing. Play as hard as you can. Keep the game close to where you win or you lose by a couple of points and everybody can shake hands. That's how you stop big leaguing. Green, he wasn't done. He took a He took a run at the current president of the NBA Players Association saying, quote, he's talking too much. That's what kind of got you out of Dallas, like overdoing it. He's over there talking too much now. Might want to slow down and stop all the tough guy stuff. For those of you all who don't know, and it shocked me, and he was talking about, at that point, he was talking about Grant Williams. I didn't know that Grant Williams was the NBA, he was the Players Association president. I thought you could only run for that office when you retired, but you can be active and do it. And then, okay. If that's the case, when do they get a chance to vote? When do you actually get a chance to vote? I mean, if I'm actively playing and my constituents are actively playing, when do we actually get a time to vote? Because All-Star Weekend, we're not somewhere else. We're watching the festivities in whatever city or we're in. It just seems like a weird deal. I don't know. Again, he was dishing the insults. He was feeling good. This is Draymond. But that next statement that he said, Draymond threw me for a loop. He says, Miles Bridges is my guy. That's my little brother. So I'm not going to sit here and go in on Miles. Miles can do no wrong with me. Your guy can do no wrong? No. You know what I'm saying? You can say, I respect Miles Bridges. We got understanding. But Miles Bridges can do wrong. This same dude is coming back from a 30-game suspension for domestic violence. My bad. Felony domestic violence. And he can do no wrong? I understand that you may not want to run at him. And that's cool. Say, hey, look, I know him. I know how he get down. He a real one. And when you in that situation where you look at somebody who is 0 games and they rock like that, yeah, I rock like that too. Okay, cool. I know, he ain't gonna go for no games, but I know this other dude that he fake. He ain't gonna do too much. Okay, so we'll have that conversation. But you can't give that guy a pass. Knowing what we know about Miles Bridges, he can do some wrong. Trust me, he can do wrong. But for some reason, Draymond Green just had Williams in his crosshairs, and he was dropping that ether. He was just, said he can't keep being like this tough guy. And this is what Green was saying. It's going absolutely wrong for him. Like, he's really a nice guy. And for some reason, he keeps trying to jump on the unlikable side. And I must tell you, it's not always fun over here. It's not always a good time. I don't know, man. He needs to figure it out. And then he capped it off with God bless him and y'all pray for him. Oh, man. That is something else. Some truth telling in it. But Green was just looking for him. I'm talking about he was just the president. And you look at him and what he's doing. He ain't doing no more than what I was doing. Well, you cut out the karate chops to Yusuf Nurkic's neck, the stomping on Dantas Sabis' ribs. Draymond's in a whole bunch of stuff. But Draymond knows once you get over there to that side and they got it in for you, they're going to blow the whistle every time you look like you're going to do something. But also, when people know that you're a nice guy and you're trying to front like you're this red ass, that ain't going to go over too well. We all know there's a guy we grew up with that's soft as butter. That dude was soft. In school, he was soft. He was soft when we was at home in the summer. But he's the only guy who stayed around the way. And so these young kids that don't know nothing, when they see him, they're like, that's such and such. Like he a hood legend, be like, nah, That dude? Nah, not him. That dude? Nah, not him. He can hang it up. We know. And then it's usually like a funny story associated with his gangster. Be like, yeah, man, I done got out of jail. Be like, for real? I remember when a roach crawled out your backpack at school, homie. What are you talking to me about? I'm a killer. I'm a killer. Man, what? I seen you get beat up by some church chicks, man. Stop it. Stop it. But that's the show. I enjoyed rocking with y'all today, talking about the San Francisco 49ers continuing to be one of the worst organizations on the face of the planet. Steve Kerr. I wish Steve Young would come back to San Francisco. Steve Kerr making a break. He's making a bank break. $35 million for 2 years, highest paid NBA coach in history. Also talked about Richard Sherman having an unfortunate incident, driving drunk again 2 times in the last 4 years. You pray for him to get some help so he can get over that. And we also talked about T. Higgins, $21 million guaranteed, playing on a franchise tag. Go ahead, brother. Don't restructure that deal. Keep that $21 million and get out of there. And Eric B. back in UCLA. Like I said, we'll catch you tomorrow. This is Big Vern.